Hello everyone, this is me, Manvi Chubwali, Assistant Principal at Rihana School Online Academy and also a level 1 facilitator. So you know that we are conduct daily English and Urdu interviews with foreigners and our students and principal. So today I have very special guest. His name is Crick. Our guest is a highly respected communication and public relation expert currently and at this professor at the University of Tampa with leadership roles such as director at PRSA presentation along with years of teaching at Curry and Regis. They have shaped both the professions and future PR leaders. Their work with Boston further highlights their impact in public engagement and event leadership. So, welcome to the show and Assalamu alaikum.
I'm sorry, what did you ask me to do?
Thank you so much, sir, accepting my request and my uh, invitation. So, please, sir, first of all, introduce yourself for me and my viewers.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy. I have spent my entire career. I'm now retired, but I spent my entire career either working in public relations or teaching public relations. The first 30 years were working. The last 20 years have been teaching, and it's been both very rewarding and sometimes challenging because things change quickly. And for me to feel like I'm succeeding, I have to stay current with what's happening in the world. So when students ask questions, I can answer. But it's a lot of fun, and I look forward to sharing experiences and hopefully ideas and getting people excited about the field.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for your lovely introduction. So, sir, my first question is that how do you approach teaching communication with a gentle emphasis on public relations?
It's I Well, I tell my students immediately that I am a public relations professional, so I believe in the fee. But what I encourage them is to understand the importance of public relations as part of an organization's overall communication program and activities. And so just, I tell them, I don't expect you to become a public relations person, but at least know what we are, what we do, and how we can help your organization. But again, from the very first day, they know I am a public relations professional.
All right, thank you so much for the amazing answer. So, sir, my another question is that which course or topic do you find most rewarding to teach and why?
Once again, I would say, and the reason is it's called the Introduction to Public Relations. It's the very first course. Why do I say that one? Because that's how I discovered public relations as a profession. And I love introducing them to it and telling the students why why I'm doing what I do today. And a very quick story just to give some background on that. I My first degree was in British literature, and I had thought I would be a professor teaching literature in a university. Then I joined the United States Air Force. It was 1968 in Vietnam War. I joined the Air Force and wound up in Vietnam teaching English as a second language. And but as I moved up in my Air Force career, I decided I wanted a second degree in business. And I had to take an elective, which is anything you want to take, and you always look for the easiest course you can find. And there was something called Introduction to Public Relations. I read the description. I said, "This is easy. I can do this one." So I enrolled in the course, got the book, started reading the book, and said, "Oh my, that's what I've been doing for the last 4 years in the Air Force. I just didn't know that's what it was called." So this is my opportunity now teaching Introduction to Public Relations to maybe get future professionals excited about it and make it their career field. And over the years, I have seen, I would say easily hundreds of students who chose public relations because they got excited about it. So it's my favorite course, and not everyone does it, but I try.
My another question is that how do you prepare a student for real world PR challenges?
I'm saying once again, what was the question again?
Can you hear my question?
Yeah, okay, sorry. At first, I wasn't sure. Yeah, when I teach public relations, yes, we have the book, we read the book, but I use real life, real world examples, things that happened yesterday, not 100 years ago. And so when the students are studying, they're able to relate because if they read or watch the news, they know what's happening. So they can use their own imagination, their own ideas to recommend what they would do if they were faced with a challenge. But again, yes, we teach the book because it gives the theory, it gives the history, it gives the foundation. But real life, real time, this happened yesterday. What would you do? And as that one student said one time, it took him 5 minutes when we finished class. I got to my office and he sent me an email and he says, "It's not in the book. I don't know what to do." That's why we're teaching the course, is so that you understand that it's real life, and you have to use your imagination, your knowledge, not the book's knowledge. So a lot of talking about that one, but it is real world, and give them things they can relate to, that they saw or read, and then, oh, I know what Kirk's talking about. Okay.
All right. So the answer is too informative, and I hope the my viewers is like also like that answer and everything. So thank you so much. So my another question is that your professional experience. During the time of as director at PRSA, what key initiative or projects stood out to you?
You know, one of the things that and it's a continuing conversation at the upper levels and throughout the organization, we really place a focus on ethics, ethical communication, ethical action, ethical everything. And I was really happy to see when I got to the sort of the upper level as a board member to see that yes, this organization, the largest public relations organization around, that we truly are focusing on helping our members and others understand the importance of ethics as part of the communication process. So that was probably the biggest thing. The second thing, and it's still today is still as important, is communicating with students to help them understand the value of being a member of an organization like the Public Relations Society of America, so that they are able to call on the experience and the knowledge of others. And I've done this throughout my career. And I was, again, very happy to see that these people who I look at as being these senior representatives of public relations feel the same as I do. So it was a very rewarding experience.
All right. Uh, Thank you so much, sir. What lesson did you take from your role as president of PRSA Boston?
That's again a good question there. And the PRSA Boston is the local chapter of the national organization. And one of the things that I learned was the importance of constant communication with our members as well as with other professionals, potential members. Because if they don't know who we are, how can they join us? So it was very much us as members of the organization, of the local chapter, going out into the community, the business community, meeting with public relations professionals, and encouraging them to become a part of this organization to help them succeed in their jobs.
Um, Excuse for my internet. Sir, my another question is that uh, from your experience with Boston, how can large scale shape public perception, community engagement?
There was an incident. When we started Boston Harborfest, people really were not aware of the many interesting and historical things that were available in the city of Boston. And during the summertime, the city was completely dead. Nothing was happening. Restaurants were closed down. And we started communicating with travel organizations, newspapers, and others to let them know of these activities that we were organizing for the public. And as we started doing these things and became better known, we saw restaurants, as I say, at first were closing in the summertime. About 5-6 years into our activities, restaurants were telling us, gee, we are very, very sorry. We cannot participate this year. We're too busy because you people are bringing too many visitors to the city. So what I learned from this was that people, you can't assume that people know why you are interesting or important. You have to tell them. And that again is called public relations. And as I said, over the years, and in about 15 years, we were encouraging more than 1 million people to come to Boston throughout the summertime. No, so it wasn't all at one time, but think about this: 1 million people over roughly 4 months. That's 250,000 people a month coming to the city to enjoy and to spend money.
Hello, sir. Wait a minute. Sorry for the internet connection. I think it's time to my last questions. So please, the advice was to you give to students as preparing to make mark in communication and PR.
What I would recommend, the advice I give is what I wish someone had given me, is to talk to others, talk to your teachers, talk to, if you think you want to work in public relations, go outside your classroom and go talk to people who are working in public relations or communication. Ask them how they got where they are today. Ask them what you can do to be successful. I wish I had known this way back when I got started. I didn't know the value of networking. Today I completely understand, and I take my students to public relations meetings. I introduce them to professionals so that they can make connections, ask questions, and hopefully decide what they want to do. Now, one last quick story, if I can. I took a group of students one time to a public relations society meeting, chapter meeting. It was the presidents of 3 public relations agencies who were talking about what they expected from their employees. When we finished the meeting, we were walking out, and one of my students, who was an amazing, outstanding student in public relations, she came over and she said, I don't think I want to do this public relations stuff anymore. I said, okay, what are you interested
Yeah.
in? And she said, my major right now is communication, public relations. My minor is social work. I love social work. I then do it. She changed and made the social work her major, kept obviously the communication as a minor. We're talking now 20 years later. She is a very successful member of a very large hospital in Boston, Massachusetts, doing social work, and is so happy. But this is just it. Talk to people. Ask them which road you should take. And if they're smart, they'll say, you figure out what you want to do, and I will help you go along that road.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much, sir, for everything and like all informations and all the answers. So it's time to overall the interview. Thank you for joining us and sharing such a valuable insight. It was an honor to learn from your experience. Oh, so see you next time. I'm Iman from Rihan School Online Academy. See you in the next session, inshallah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed this. Okay, bye-bye now.
And apologize for my internet connection. It's not perfectly it's going. I hope you
I
understand.
completely understand. Bye-bye now.
Thank you so much.